What's up, LP fam? Coach Adam here for one final time in 2025 and to kick off the 2026 training plan. So, first of all, congrats on an incredible year of fitness and fun. For our OG members, congrats on continuing the grind and stepping up for some new big goals and big challenges. It's been an amazing year. For our new members, welcome to the crew. It's been an awesome year. First time running through our 4-phase training block and our challenges and events. We're super excited for 2026. We got an awesome year planned ahead, and we're looking forward to kicking it off with our strength and power training block. For those of you who know, or for those of you who don't know, we start each year with strength season for January, February, March. Then we go into summer shred for April, May, June. Then we go into our athlete conditioning for July, August, September. And then we finish off the year with the phase that we just completed, which is foundation season. So in this upcoming phase, we got some fun planned. We'll go through a training block breakdown. We'll talk about the training focus. We'll talk about our challenge in phase one, which is the LP Open. And then we'll talk about HYROX Strong, the CrossFit Open, and some other events that we have planned in Q1. And then we'll review our benchmark testing that we have at the end of the phase. So let's get rolling into what we got coming up. So first and foremost, here's how the training block's going to look. We are going to start this new block on January 5th, and it's going to run for 12 weeks all the way until April 5th. We're going to break it down into 3 4-week mini cycles. The first one is going to be focused on dynamic strength. The second mini cycle is going to be focused on some clusters, which we'll talk about as we go. And then the third one is going to be focused on our big heavy lifts, where we'll be building to some tough sets each and every day. And then we'll finally end off the phase with some benchmark testing. We do this twice a year, once in the spring and then once again in the fall. So excited for that. Going to be an awesome training block and really focused on that strength and power development. As you can see from an endurance focus, we're going to be really focusing on that VO2 max and hitting those zone 5 intervals and really building that top end of the endurance pyramid and simultaneously building the aerobic base with that. So let's dig into it. So training focus. As we age, we lose 10% of our strength, power, and VO2 max every single decade. It's approximately 1% per year. It's not linear per se, but when you go from 40 to 50, your body naturally over those years is losing about 10% of that power output. And our job is to fight hard and train hard and work against that so we can maintain or sustain the strength and power that we have for as long as possible. So this training block is really focused on maintaining that top end strength, power, VO2 max, and then we'll build off of that as we go throughout the year. So our primary lifts will be our squat, bench, and deads. We're going to do our squats on Monday, our bench on Wednesday, and our deadlifts on Friday, back to that traditional setup. And then we'll also have a secondary lift built into an accessory circuit on these strength days. And then we'll finish with some strength, skill, and strongman work on each of these strength days. So we're going to break, I mentioned this earlier, we're going to break the 12-week training block into these 4-week mini cycles. We don't want to jump into that super top end 90 to 100% heavy lifting because our nervous systems and our bodies won't be able to handle that demands right away. So the first 4 weeks are going to be focused on dynamic strength, which is going to prime the nervous system to handle the demands of that high-end heavy lifts and explosive movements. Okay, think of banded bench press, really trying to be explosive and powerful. Think of box squats, okay, and think of some deadlifts, but focused on producing that kind of not speed. Speed's not the right word, but that power. Okay, but we're going to be doing about 70 to 80% of our 1 rep max in this block, but we're going to be focused on that dynamic output. So producing the force with the speed of the concentric movement will still control that eccentric. Okay, but then the speed of the concentric movement will be dynamic and explosive so that when we get into those heavier lifts, our nervous system and muscles are ready for those demands. After that first 4 weeks of, let's call it priming, then we're going to go into our cluster sets. So some of you might have done these before, but this is when you do, let's say instead of doing a 6 rep set, you do a set of 2, you take a really short 10 to 15 second break, then you do 2 more reps, then you take a short 10 to 15 second break, then you do 2 more reps. So a cool way of building that top end strength and power without having to, first of all, lift like crazy heavy weights, but also without having to do grueling, tough sets of like 4, 5, 6 reps. We can break it up into these mini sets, go heavy or heavier than we could if we did 5 or 6 reps, but we get that little break so that we can maintain perfect form and technique and power throughout the whole set. So that'll be the middle block, which will be the month of February. And then the final 4 weeks will be focused on building to a heavy set. So the first week will be focused on building to a heavy set of 5 reps. Some days that'll feel phenomenal and you'll be able to get up close to 90, 95% of your 1 rep max. Other days that'll feel tough and you'll just build as heavy as you can. And then from there, you'll be doing drop sets at 80 to 85% of what you lifted that day. So those will be fun, different styles of lifting throughout the phase, but all focused on building that top end strength and working primarily between kind of 80 to 100% of your 1 rep max, but broken up into some different styles of lifting. And then on conditioning days, we're really excited to bring back some of our aerobic skill intervals. So we'll be pushing it hard on the ergs like we always do, but then we'll be pairing it with some sort of skill work, which could be for the higher end members, athletes. It could be like toes to bar, pull-ups, and handstand push-ups. And for some of our intermediate level members, it could be V-sits, hand release push-ups, and wall walks or inchworms. But the demands of those body weight skills paired with the output of the ergs. And then also excited to get some Metcon repeaters. So this is metabolic conditioning. So you'll work hard for like 3 to 5 minutes doing a tough Metcon. Then you'll get full recovery. And then you'll repeat that same Metcon and try to produce the same power output. So those will be some fun Metcon repeaters. And then one thing you'll really notice in this phase is the VO2 focus. So we're going to start with some short, high intensity intervals, 20 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, repeated multiple times. Then we're going to up it to 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, repeated. So these repeatable high output intervals. Last phase was focused on threshold, which was holding the same strong pace throughout. Now we're going to actually want to go up high, VO2 max, and then come back down and go up and down and up and down. And then another fun style of training is doing these AMRAPs, which is as many rounds or reps as possible. So you do 3 minutes of work, get as much work done as you can, take that short break, 1 minute off, and then repeat that 3 minutes, 1 minute off. Okay, and then we'll go back and forth with some of those AMRAP type intervals. So excited for the strength and power focus, and also excited for that VO2 max interval focus. Next up is our first challenge of the year. This is our one and only true fitness challenge of the year, and we're super excited. The LP Open, also known as the Frozen 4 Challenge, for those of you who have been around for many years, but this is our one team-oriented fitness challenge of the year, and it's for all ability levels. Last year, we divided our teams up into beginner, intermediate, and advanced athletes. And each team had 2 beginners, 2 intermediates, and 2 advanced. And they worked together as a team each and every week to tackle the challenges, the workouts throughout the challenge. So week 1 of this challenge is going to be our kickoff party and our partner challenge. So you're going to be teaming up with another teammate, and you're going to be working through a workout, getting as much work done or getting it done as fast as you can, and you'll be scored against the other teams. And at the end of each week, you'll be getting as many points as possible for that. Week 2 will be a My Zone challenge. So that's our My Zone bands. You'll be working with your team for a My Zone team challenge. In previous years, we had some athletes that focused on the green zone, some athletes that focused on the yellow zone, some athletes that focused on the yellow or the red zone. Other years, we've just done maximum amount of MEPs, or we've done a team average where each member contributes to the total team amount. So super excited for that grueling week, and it's just effort based. So that's a fun one. No skill involved, just hard work. And then week 3 is going to be our endurance team challenge, where you'll be working as a team. Last year we did an Ironman, and you completed your Ironman as a team as fast as possible. Last year's Ironman was a ski or row, a bike, and a run. So you worked as a team to divide up those distances, and then you completed the Ironman as fast as you can. So that was a super fun one. And then the final week, we'll be coming back together on Friday night, and we'll be doing a team fitness challenge. Last year's was super tough, and we're excited to repeat that again this year. Last year, the Tragically Fit ran away with the championship, so we need some redemption on those guys. We'll be making our teams at the beginning of January. I think it's Wednesday, January 14th. We'll be doing our draft night with our team captains, and we'll be announcing our teams for our kickoff and partner challenge on Friday, January 16th. So you'll see some sign up coming out for that right away. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask any one of our coaches. HYROX Ottawa, or should I say HYROX Ottawa, or HYROX Vegas, or HYROX Miami. As most of you know, HYROX Ottawa sold out within 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Super popular. A lot of our members did get in. And for those of you who didn't and have chose different races, we'll help you kind of modify this training plan. And for those of you who are still waiting patiently for your spot in HYROX Ottawa, we did get confirmation at HYROX Vancouver that we got to build that wait list so we can request a 3rd day and maybe even a 4th day at HYROX Ottawa. So there are going to be some spots opening up. So if you guys get on that wait list, that will help build the demand and possibility of those extra days. That being said, either way, just get training, and usually about a month out, some tickets come free, and you'll get your spot in the race. So let's make sure you're in tip-top shape, ready for maybe your first HYROX race, maybe your second, maybe your third. Either way, going to be super exciting. We're going to start our 16-week training block on January 19th. We're going to do some base building for 6 weeks in January and February. We're going to really work hard to build back that running base because running is such a big part of HYROX. We'll be focused on kind of like our phase, really focused on improving that top end power output, including run form and mechanics, which is usually done when you're running fast, relaxed, fast running. And then we'll also be focused on our strength and power development in our weekly workouts. And then our one big tune-up race in this base building block is HYROX Strong. And that's all the HYROX stations with no running. So a great test of where you're at or where your doubles team is at in that base building phase. And then we'll jump into our build phase, which will start to build back in some of that threshold work, which is the race pace work. We'll include that threshold work into our running. We'll also include it into our station work. And we essentially have to build up that ability to hold threshold or race pace for the 8K of running, and then also for the distance or duration of all those stations. So we'll be focused on threshold and volume building in that build phase. And then the benchmark or check-in or test during that phase will be a 3 or 5K run test. And then we use those run results to make our paces or our estimated paces for all of our threshold work. So that will be done near the beginning of this build phase, and then we'll use those results throughout that phase. And then our race-specific phase. We don't try to spend too much time doing race-specific training because it's very punishing and very demanding. But we will spend about 4 to 6 weeks on this, and it will be dialing in that race-specific intensity, really hitting that race intensity and race volume in weekly workouts that kind of mimic the demands of the race. During this phase, we're going to be doing a hybrid series training camp at the beginning of May, which will be like the absolute peak of your training for HYROX Ottawa. And we'll try to make this a big training camp weekend where you really get to practice and prepare for your race. So excited for this HYROX Ottawa prep, which will start in the new year. And if you are a HYROX athlete, I highly recommend getting in on the LP Open because that will be great fitness training and competition experience for your racing coming up. So excited for that. Q1 event, I mentioned it earlier. We have our big HYROX Strong event. We have almost 300 athletes signed up. We're going to be hosting it at the same spot at Shark Sport Co. Out on New Dundee Road there. And it's going to be from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., maybe even later, on Monday, February 16th, which is Family Day. So there'll be all different divisions. A lot of you are already signed up. But we have individual open divisions, pro individual divisions, and then we also have doubles divisions. So super excited for that. If you're not signed up yet, there are some spots left in a few of the divisions. So do get signed up because this will be a great test in that base training block. Champions for Charity. We have 3 of our members who are fighting in this awesome fundraiser, including Craig Seibel and Paul Bastagian, punching each other in the face, which is going to be absolutely epic. And then Mitch Blaine, the animal, is going up against another beast in the community. So these 3 gentlemen will be preparing for their fights, which will be happening in April. and we want to host a big fundraising event with them. So we haven't set a date yet, but at some point in March, we'll be looking to host a big fundraiser where we'll all come in for a couple hours and do some sort of sparring and boxing and have a super fun workout and raise a ton of money for these boys and the awesome cause that they're fighting for. So excited for that. Stay tuned for more details. And then finally, the LP, or not the LP Open, the CrossFit Open, which has been a staple in the LP community since about 2015. We've had a crew each year throw down for a little Friday Night Lights action. So this year, we're excited to continue that tradition and have a little throwdown with some of our top dogs. If you want to come cheer them on, and for a little fun and friendly competition, they'll be competing in the CrossFit Open and submitting their scores each week for the 3 weeks, likely recording their videos and submitting their scores. So super excited to cheer this crew on and maybe even get in on the action. New programs at LP. We have 3 cool new programs that we're launching. The first one is called LP Youngstars. This is one that we're excited to team up with Hybrid Series on and create a youth division. And we're actually going to have our first youth workout at the HYROX Strong event. So we have about 30 youngsters signed up for the race that day, and they have their own version of the HYROX Strong workout, which they're going to be running through. We have 2 divisions, 8 to 11 years old and 12 to 15 years old. And alongside that, we're going to be launching an LP Youngstars program, which they'll be training for this race 2 times a week on Monday and Wednesday nights, starting on January 12th. So a super cool way for kids anywhere between 8 and 15 years old to get involved with the gym, to get involved with this new fun style of training and racing that combines fitness and working out with sport. So they'll not only get to do the workouts at LP, but then they'll actually get to go and test and race and compete, which we know kids love to do, at HYROX Strong on February 16th. So if your youngster is already signed up for HYROX Strong, then we'll talk to you about getting involved with this training program Monday and Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. We'll be running our Youngstars workouts. And then if your youngster isn't signed up but is interested in training and possibly doing the race, then let us know and we'll talk more about the program and getting signed up. So think about if you have anyone between that age that would be interested in doing 1 to 2 workouts a week that will be geared toward this HYROX style of training, and then maybe even doing the family day race. The next program is our group nutrition coaching. As most of you know, Kyle, Michelle, and Ree have been rocking the nutrition and transform program with a lot of our members this past year. And they're super excited to launch a group nutrition coaching program starting January 11th. So the group program will be 6 weeks long, and it will be going over the fundamentals and basics of nutrition. It will be helping you build confidence in making healthier choices around nutrition, not wondering what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, but really giving you that confidence. And then also just giving you that support and accountability that we all need. And then it's a great kind of first step into, hey, I'm not ready to dive deep into that one-on-one nutrition coaching, but I would love a little support around my nutrition and eating healthier and helping me with my body composition or my performance. This is a great way to do it. So we do have an application form for this program. If you are interested, we're going to send out the link for this, and we will have to limit it somewhat to spots. so that we can manage and provide that support and accountability for everyone. So we're looking forward to getting our first ever group nutrition coaching program launched on January 11th. So watch for that link coming out and fill out that application form. And then the final program that is new to most of us is our Ageless Athlete program. This is for our older adults. We've been running this program for the past year at LP, and we have an amazing core group of members that are coming in on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. and then in the afternoons on Monday and Wednesday at 1:45 p.m. So this is for older adults that are looking to maintain their strength and mobility so that they can be active and healthy and strong as they get older. Coach Ree is running both of these programs, and it's a small group focused program where the members get a lot of one-on-one focus on balance and stability and strength and mobility. So we're looking for our Tuesday, Thursday group is currently full, but we are looking for 4 to 6 new members for our Monday and Wednesday group. So if you have anyone in your community, a family member, a friend, a coworker that you think would be a good fit for this program, please let us know, and we'd love to talk more with them see if it's the right fit. That's all I got today. Very excited to finish off 2025 very strong and kick off the new year with a bang. Looking forward to a big year of fitness ahead and helping you guys crush your fitness goals. Big phase coming up, big challenge coming up, and can't wait to get rolling. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and let's crush some big goals in 2026, my friends.